All right, everyone, if you could just take your seats and we might get started. All right. Who's enjoyed TechEd so far? We've seen a lot of awesome. We've seen a lot of new things in Office 2013, and today, obviously, no difference. We've seen Visio already, just with Debbie Ireland and Click to Run earlier. This morning, I'm going to be teaching you about what is going on in Project 2013. So just a show of hands first, who has used or uses Microsoft Project Professional? Right, now hands down if you are using 2010. So who's still using 2007, 2003? Yeah, that's what I thought. Great, so there's some good things in here for you today. So Office 2013. Who has already gone on to Microsoft.com and had a play with the new Office 2013 download? Has anyone had a look at the preview yet? Great, only a few. Okay, so there's a bunch of new things you'll find out today. The new look is one of the big things, as we've heard about. New online features and a lot of new functionality. But this session specifically, Project 2013. And exactly what's new. Has anyone actually had a play with Project 2013? Yeah, a couple? Okay, well that's great. All right, so in Project 2013, there's a whole bunch of new features, a lot in Project Professional, and then, as we'll see, there's a lot in the online functionality, and that's the major area that the project team have been working on. So for project management, for project managers using Microsoft Project, the new upgrades for them are that they will be able to start faster, whether they have experience or not. There's a new reporting framework within Microsoft Project. They'll be able to work better using lots of the functionality that's new in both Project 2010, which I'll show, and Project 2013. And in Microsoft Project 2013, we'll see that the collaboration features have come a long way, and that's helped a lot by Microsoft SharePoint 2013 as well. For contributors to project, your project team as a whole, they'll find that collaboration with the project managers is a lot better, and also the SharePoint integration will be a major one for users going forward. For any developers in the room, there's actually some quite exciting changes that come with the new application model in Microsoft Project 2013. The new Office app ecosystem opens some pretty interesting opportunities to develop new plugins for Microsoft Project deployed over the cloud. There's the new CSOM, so that's the client-side object model. It's available in C# and in JavaScript. That allows developers to code against the Project Server 2013. And also Backstage extensibility. So we'll see the new Backstage in Project 2013, and we'll be able to see that developers can actually make new panes and new widgets for that piece. For those that are not developers, this should give you a good overview of what you can get developed for you or what you can look for in the market as we go forward. All right, we'll jump straight into it. Starting faster, the all-new Start experience. The project team are quite proud of this one. This is really just bringing Microsoft Project Professional and Project Standard into line with the other Office 2013 applications that have had this for a few years, and projects kind of lagged behind it. In 2010, when you started up Microsoft Project, you got dumped straight into a blank project. Maybe you didn't want a blank project, but you got dumped straight in there. You didn't get any kind of guidance, how to find templates, where your recent documents were. You had to go and find that all yourself. This is the new Backstage. This is the first Start experience users will have when they open up Microsoft Project Professional. As we can see, there's lots of new things. Some of these were actually in 2010, but users never actually knew they existed. For instance, the templates here. They've now all got nice icons so you can see what they are. And there's the search online templates functionality. That was in 2010, but you had to hunt around in Backstage to find it. And that will search across the cloud many categories of different project templates. And you can find just what you need, so you don't have to start from a blank slate. On the left, you can see your recent documents are right at the forefront, so you can now start Microsoft Project Professional, come in, and bang, straight into the last project you were using very quickly. And there's two extra little widgets there that people might have already noticed. The first one is the new from Excel Workbook, and the second one is new from SharePoint Tasks List. So new from Excel Workbook is quite a fascinating one for anyone who's still using Microsoft Project to plan or quote their projects. This allows Microsoft Project to pull in all the columns, tasks, resources, and make a project plan for you from that you can then save into, for instance, project server, or just keep on your hard drive. The new from SharePoint task list will be quite neat for anyone who's actually moved into the SharePoint space and is using task lists to manage their projects or plan them out maybe. And then they decide, oh, we actually need to schedule this a little bit better, let's bring it into Microsoft Project. They can import that task list and continue working from there and keep it updated. That actually ties in quite well with another functionality that I was mentioning around SharePoint integration I'll go into later. So the second big thing I mentioned was reporting. So reporting's had a long history in Microsoft Project Professional. 2003 had all of those pre-canned icons that you clicked on to bring up particular reports. That got extended considerably in 2007, where they added visual reports, which is where they had Excel and Visio templates that you could put into your projects to generate reports off the data, off the various roll-ups, the local cubes, all of that type of thing. But in 2010, they've actually added the pivot table style reports right into Microsoft Project Professional. As an example, here's just a quick picture of one of the pieces of one of the reports. This is a burn down report. All of these reports are now actually editable within Microsoft Project. You can customize it in a particular project schedule. You can copy paste them out to other Office applications, and they'll actually stay editable. Charts will stay editable. So anyway, I won't kill you with PowerPoint. Let's jump into a quick demo and introduction to Microsoft Project Professional 2013. Try that again. Great. So when we start up Microsoft Project, boom, right there, into the backstage as I was mentioning. So I'm just going to go and open up my pre-canned project. Make sure it's the right one. Great. All right, so first thing I'm going to show you is the reporting functionality. So as you can see, I've actually had it already open. So if we go back to the Gantt chart, which is the default view when you open Microsoft Project, the new reporting functionality is sitting underneath the Project tab on the ribbon. And as you can see, new Office 2013 look. And I can jump to this Reports tab. So for anyone that's a little bit worried by now, you can still use your old visual reports from Microsoft Excel and Microsoft Visio. Those are sitting there under Visual Reports, hiding away. But these new ones are in this drop down here. So I'm just going to jump into this new Project Overview report, which you just saw a second ago. Right, now this is actually completely editable within Microsoft Project. And the key bit that I want to point out is off to the side here. This is, excuse the small resolution, this is the pivot chart style functionality where you can select the charts, the roll-ups, the filters, the groups, and the outline level for whatever information you want to display. This particular one gives you a great little overview of the project as a whole. So it's showing you the amount of work complete over the entire project schedule. There's a percent complete by the first outline level, or they've called phase in this project. The current upcoming milestones, as well as late tasks, so tasks that are past their due date. All right, so what I'm going to do today is I'm actually going to make a nice PowerPoint for the executive team. They want to find out about how my project is going. So I'm going to copy those. And I have, if I open up PowerPoint 2013, there's a presentation here that I want to update. Okay, so first off, I'm going to plop in these late tasks. So as you can see, I copy pasted that right in there. I don't think, oh no, I'll leave the title there, but I'll make it a little bit bigger. So already you can see that they're quite dynamic. You can actually edit them from the other Office application you put them in. Now, the other thing I'll just point out is that tables, when they come in, unfortunately they do come in as a picture. Charts, however, the graphs and things, they will come in as a linked graph that you can update. Okay, and actually I might just pop that down the side there. I think I've got some other things I want to put in. Right, so that's the project overview. The next lovely report that is in Microsoft Project 2013 is the work overview. So this one's lovely. It's got that little burn down chart on the top left. It's also got all these statistics pivoted to the work metric, so the amount of work that's been completed, the remaining work, and the actual work. And all of those statistics on the left there with by phase. Now down the bottom of this one, you actually have it pivoted by resource, so you can see all of the resources, how much you're using of them across this entire project, how much they've actually spent on your project, and how much is remaining. And on the right-hand side is a crazy one that's remaining availability, so that's looking at how many hours are available in the resource planner for those resources. Okay, so I'm going to copy some of this information into my report too, onto my presentation. I'm going to grab these ones. Jump over here, and I want to put the work overview into this slide. Now, interestingly, you'll notice that the pictures got stretched, and from what I understand, that's because this is a widescreen presentation. This is all still preview release, obviously. It's not RTM yet. Now, one thing you'll notice is that I can select some of the pieces of the graph that I don't want in this particular case. So you could never do this before. You used to have to get the whole report and jam it in there as a picture or something. Delete them. Gone. Right, and I'm just going to grab these other ones and just do some changes, make them a bit bigger. Great, there we go. Now, this other lovely little graph here, this can be useful, this one. However, in its current state, that's not particularly readable. You can't really discern much information from it. But one great thing about the new reporting framework is that these reports here, if I just close some of these, you can filter them right from within project to show you information about particular resources. So right here, you see this little filter button. Pop out comes out with all of the series of data. And I'm just going to select a couple of the resources that I have had problems with in the past. I want to see how they're tracking. And hit apply. There we go. So I can now see that I have available time from these two people in a couple of spaces. And as you can see that Sarah Davis has a lot of availability. I don't think I'm using her much on this project actually. All right, and I'm actually going to grab this one and put it into my presentation too to show off this cool graph to my manager's manager. And I'll pop that here. Now, one thing you will have just noticed is that the graph actually, or the chart actually picked up the theme from this PowerPoint presentation. So that's a lovely new feature as well. You don't have to go and edit all the colors to make sure they match the rest of your presentation. If you've set up your theme, boom, in theme, like that. And as you can see, I can actually go and alter the colors as well and the style of the chart right from within PowerPoint. I can even go in and edit the pieces of it and change the font sizes to make it readable on a projector. Lots of fun. All right, so that's the work overview report. The third one here is the burn down report. So a lot of people are getting into the agile methodology, looking at using burn down reports as one of their key metrics. This one here will be quite useful for a lot of people. So we've got two burn down charts, one by work and one by task count. And these are all controlled, obviously, by the baseline. And if you know how to use a pivot chart, you'll know how to edit and make new ones of these very easily. If you can edit charts in Excel, you can make these look amazing. Great, so actually I'm going to grab this one here, and I'm going to pop that onto my presentation as well. Right, and as you can see, that font's a little bit small, so I'm going to increase these series. There we go, that'll do. Amazing. Presentation's almost ready. Cool, so that's the first demo I've got of Introduction to Microsoft Project Professional 2013.
Besides copying the reports into PowerPoint, is there another way to collaborate those reports into SharePoint with users that don't have projects?
So that's a good question around can you use those reports to collaborate out into SharePoint? So you could copy paste that into Visio, and as Debbie just showed, you could then put that as a Visio web part into whatever page you wanted. Additionally, in SharePoint, which I'll show soon, the new task list in SharePoint 2013, that'll give you the timeline view that you might be familiar with from 2010. Besides that, you could copy-paste them into an image program and just paste them into your content in SharePoint in terms of automated, not out of the box. Okay, so the next bit that I was looking at was working better. So doing more things that you want to do and less mucking around. So there's 4 features I'm going to take you through and one new one for 2013. First up is change highlighting. So any of you that have used Project Professional 2010 will be familiar with this feature. This allows, when you update, for instance, a date and it has dependencies, any other tasks that get pushed aside because they've been automatically scheduled, their information will all update and it will highlight temporarily in a color so you can know what's changed. In the past, that was quite weird when you updated a schedule and then, okay, I know something changed, but... The second one in 2010 was multi-level undo. So one of the big problems with Microsoft Project was that people didn't want to play too much with their project schedule once they had it right. They didn't want to go and change stuff in fear that it might break. They might break some of their links. So Microsoft have added multi-level undo so that you can have a play around, you can click around, see what will happen, and then just roll back. One click off the quick access toolbar, bang, and you can go up to 20 steps back in one click. The next one in 2010 was inactive tasks. So this was a Project Professional. It wasn't available in Standard. Project Professional feature. You could mark tasks as inactive and then let the automatic scheduling figure out what would happen if those tasks weren't done. It does give you that scheduling warning if there were dependencies off it that would not be made sense anymore. And the new one that I'm going to show you today, new in 2013, is task path. So when you are dealing with quite a decent schedule size and you've got lots of tasks, lots of dependencies and links across multiple phases, nested groups of functionality and pieces of work that need to go onto the project, one thing that could get quite difficult is finding out exactly why this task was here, what depended on it to be finished, to carry on, and what it needed to be done before it could be started. And you used to have to sit there tracing the errors or reading the predecessors and following it up. This new task path functionality lets you just see quite visually once you turn it on for any task, the predecessors in yellow and the successors in pink. And that's new in 2013. So I'll just go through some of those features for you now too. Another demo. Great. Okay, so back into our project plan here, and we'll go back into the Gantt chart. Okay, so what we've just discovered is there's a bunch of extra tasks we need to do that we didn't have originally in our project plan. So I'm going to go down and add some new tasks. And this is really just to show you how easy you can edit your project schedule. Okay, so I think I want to add some tasks into this one. So up on the ribbon, add a new task. I'll actually chuck 3 in here. So the grid's very, very similar to Microsoft Excel and any other grid view you've seen in Microsoft Office. Can change between manual and automatic scheduling. And I can enter durations. Right, now one little feature that was new in 2010 that was quite neat was the ability to just type random text into these duration fields, so you could sort of leave a note for yourself for what you're going to fill in when you found out later, but just carry on. Okay, so we'll just put to be decided in terms of duration there. And then the other thing I can do is I can go and do the same thing here. So this one's actually going to be scheduled for the 3rd week of May. So I'm in the past a little bit, but that's okay. Right, and each of those needs to be done after the other one, so I'm just going to link them together. Now I'll just move this across so you can see on the Gantt chart the new tasks I've got in there. All right, so you can kind of see some of the change highlighting already until I move things around. It lit up blue, but I'll just go and show you one more. So I'm going to go up and have a look at line 36. This lovely one, I'm going to change its amount down to 2 days. And you'll see that because I changed the duration there, the finish date also changed, and that has updated that to be light blue, so you can see that it actually got altered. And the next feature that I was going to show you was the task paths. So that's being able to see all the predecessors and all the successors for a particular task. So I'm going to use this one particular. And if I pop into the Gantt chart, task path. So by the way, for anyone who's not familiar with any previous software from Microsoft, when you see a little orange dot, that means that they haven't made the icon yet, it hasn't been finalized. All right, so I'm going to click predecessors. So what you'll now be able to see in the Gantt chart is that for that particular task, I can now quickly see exactly which tasks are predecessors to this one. And if I turn on successors as well, and you can turn on all the 4 in there at the same time, you'll see that all the successors to that task have lit up purple now. I'll just zoom in a little bit, pink. There we go. Alrighty. There's one last thing I wanted to show you that I added in. I don't think anyone really needs to see multi-level undo. It pops out straight out of the quick access toolbar there. Right. And you can turn off the task path functionality, remove highlighting, just like that. Okay. Fun times. Okay, so the next bit I was going to show you, which is new in 2010, but has been upgraded in 2013, is the new timeline view. So this is great for getting an overview even higher level than looking at your project plan of all the bits and pieces within your project. So what I can do first is I'm going to roll up this so I can just see my, it's the little button, roll up to just see my level 1 tasks. And I'm going to add these to my timeline. Great, I'm actually just going to pop that on top of that. That'll be fine. Great, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and find all my milestones. So what you can do is you can filter your entire schedule. Once I show all the subtasks again, I can filter it down to just show the milestones. And then I can go and add in all of the milestones. There we go. I'm going to add these 3 into my timeline as well at the top. Now what this is great for is this is great for putting into presentations to show executive teams, to show your project resources, company meetings, things like that, to sort of just give you a quick, brief overview of your project, where it's tracking. And there's a few views of this as well. So this is a detailed view, but I can pop that down into just a colored bar set so you can quickly see the information. Great, so I actually quite like that. I think that needs to go into my presentation that I was designing before. So I'm going to right click here and you can copy the timeline. Now, has anyone ever tried to copy bits and pieces from reports and they've only got them on screen and they can't get different resolutions and they end up having to stretch this little tiny report up onto a big PowerPoint and end up with jaggies and yucky looking text? So new functionality here for this timeline, when you want to copy it, you can actually choose what size you want to copy it at. So it'll actually scale it for you. So it'll scale it up or down depending on which option you choose. So because this is going into a presentation, I'm going to say for presentation. And that will actually copy a decent resolution that will look nice on the screen. And I'm going to pop that right into my PowerPoint. And you can see again that this has actually got pieces that I can edit. I can change the font size of, everything from within Word and PowerPoint. and any of the applications, Office applications that support the general chart and smart objects. Cool. So I think this presentation's about ready. It's got all the bits and pieces on it. Yeah.
Oh, you said the timeline's been improved. It looks exactly the same as 2010. Can you explain more what's been improved about it?
Sure. I might go into that just towards the end. The main bits are really around the resolution, copying, and editability, similar to the reporting. Alrighty, so I'll pop back over to the slides. Presenting with Microsoft PowerPoint 2013, and typical with some preview releases, some little tiny issue there. There we go, cool. Right, so still with project managers, and actually this is the bit where it crosses over into collaborators. Anyone working on or contributors, anyone that's working on your projects with you. The collaboration tools have improved a lot, and this is a lot is due to the new improvements in SharePoint Server 2013. One little one that's in there is now link presence. So this has been a big one for Microsoft, is making sure that the link experience is throughout all of the Office applications. So on any task that you have a resource on, if you have link installed and running, you get a little widget, and then you can click on that to then IM, email, call, whatever you need to your resources to find out information straight away. You don't have to go to another application, remember the email address, things like that. So that's a nice little one. So the other great thing about collaboration that is in 2013 is related to the cloud. So we all know that Microsoft has been putting a lot of effort this year into Office 365, upgrading it, lots of new features, making it a much nicer experience. And this year, Project gets to join the club. Project Server is now available within Office 365. Has anyone actually had to play with Project Server in Office 365 yet? No, didn't think so. Pretty neat. It's a very fast way to be able to get you up and running with Project Server, to trial it for your organization, to get in there and show contributors, executives, whatever you need, how it runs, how it integrates with things like Exchange, as Wayne was mentioning yesterday around the task roll-up, how it integrates with SharePoint Server, and how to play with different devices and things. There's new browser functionality, cross-browser functionality in PWA as well. All right, so with that, I'm going to jump straight back into having a play with the new Office 365. This is the crazy bit of the demo where I start to use the internet and pray to the demo gods. Okay, while we're waiting for me to plug in the Ethernet cable to be able to get the internet on my thing, let's ask a question. Okay, in what version of Microsoft Project was Visual Reports added? 2007. Very nice. All right, I actually click to the Wi-Fi while we sort that out. I didn't grab the Ethernet cable, my bad. Too bad, grab that one. All right, so in the new Project Online, there's PWA, and the lovely new feature I'm going to show you today is syncing your project plan with a task list. Let's just make sure I've got all that going. Yes, great. Okay. So from Project Professional, and in fact, well, I don't believe it's all been finished, but maybe even Project Standard with this one, you can sync your task list from Microsoft Project, your whole schedule, out to the new the new task list view within SharePoint 2013. So this task list view in 2013 is really the big benefit of why you want to do this. And type in this crazy cool password. No. Copy paste. So you can sign up for Project 365 or Office 365 with Microsoft Project Server right now. You can go online to office.com/preview. Right, and here we go. Here is my SharePoint site. Right. Now it is. There we go. So this is the new SharePoint 2013. We will have got a bit of a preview from some of the other demos so far. And you can see the front page here, looking all nice. What I'm going to show you now is I have a project plan here. See the sync with SharePoint button, sync with an existing SharePoint site, and you can type in your URL here. This can be an on-premise or an Office 365 SharePoint URL. It'll start pulling through all the existing task lists. Or I can say, well, no, I want to put this in a new one. TechEd demo project. So there's two great things about this. First is, it will create the list. It'll go and put all the tasks into there. We'll see in a second that there's new subtasks in task lists in SharePoint 2013. The other great little feature is that it will actually save your project plan up into the site assets list, so that it can be accessed from SharePoint in future. Right, so here we have a new list that's been added, or a new list. I guess they're called apps in 2013. And you've got your title up at the top here, and you can see that none of the tasks have been pulled in, and I saw that in the presentation, in the little thing here. So let me just show all the subtasks and try that one once more. I have it filtered to milestones. Yeah, demo gods are not happy. Alrighty, so I have one here I prepared earlier. So I synced the same project actually with a different name. And here is the new task view in SharePoint Server 2013. So as you can see at the top here, you have the timeline view that people have got familiar with in Project Professional 2010. And we see here the task view has been radically upgraded to have subtasks and being able to mark completed tasks right from the browser. Nice little other features here, as you can see when things were done in the little disclosure piece there. And get the URL. So the other great thing is when you come in here and if you want to configure this timeline, which is blank by default. For instance, I've only got phases 1 and 2 in there at the moment, and I want to add phases 3 and 4 into my timeline so everyone can see how the project's tracking. I just click the little menu and add to timeline. And I'll do the same with phase 4. Add to timeline. If we scroll up to the top there, we'll see that now we have a similar timeline view that we had in Project Professional, right in SharePoint, right in the page. Now, if I was to go and actually mark all of these tasks as complete in phase 3, for instance, all right, I'll sort this one out, I'll tell you. Cool. If I then, back in project, when the project manager comes in to use it again, hit save and sync to get the new information, we'll see. So the ones we marked were around phase 3, describe the vision and opportunity. I can scroll down to my phase 3 tasks. This isn't my synced one. They would update in here, marked as complete, so the project manager can carry on. They can see all the tasks have been completed by their contributors and have a lot better feedback from all the people working on their projects. So that's the new task list functionality in SharePoint 2013.
Will that capture actuals as well as work completed?
So this view here just captures completion. So that will just mark the actuals as the work. To do the timesheets, you still need to use PWA in Project Server. Okay, I'll just quickly show you guys the PWA as well.
So if you sync that list from SharePoint to your Outlook calendar, can you do actuals that way?
I don't believe the sync with SharePoint task supports actuals. I think. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I forgot to do that. The question was, if you're using Outlook and you sync your task list from SharePoint into there, can you capture the actuals on a particular task to record back into Project Server and then into Project Professional? Sorry, without Project Server, just back into Project Professional. And the answer was the SharePoint task list sync functionality doesn't support capturing the actual work hours, only if a task is completed or not, which sets the actuals to the work. So I was just saying that to get that functionality, you do have to use Project Server and the timesheet view. So just quickly, I won't go into too much detail with this. There is a lot of new features in Project Server. I'm not going to cover them today, unfortunately. This is the new PWA. Looks great. And just like all of the other bits and pieces in SharePoint 2013, you can see the page loads are very fast. You can see that this has all been rewritten, and it's not using those crazy big controls that we had in the past. We have the timeline view here. This is actually a portfolio view, so this will show you a timeline of all of the projects that are loaded into this Project Server view. And I can go into a particular one. You can see the normal information. You can see the timeline view that we created within Project Professional has been pulled through into PWA. And you've got your Gantt chart and all of the other bits and pieces that we had in PWA in the past, just looking a lot nicer, all with the new HTML functionality that's in SharePoint 2013. And amazingly, this will be able to be opened in a lot more browsers than you could in the past. All right. I can have a quick look at the project sites in a minute. So that functionality is being able to maintain documents and look at actuals and resources about a project within SharePoint is where that functionality exists. So project sites, I can go over that, a little bit of an impromptu demo at the end in a few minutes, and we'll have a look at that functionality as well. Okay. So there's one other little piece which I can't demo for you today, but I'll take you through some slides showing the interaction. And that's using a phone, a mobile device, to update project completion. So people are out on the road, project managers in the office, and they're saying, well, you haven't updated your tasks. You haven't marked them as complete. Have you done them? And you're like, yes, I have, because they've called you up using the link integration there. And so I've done this using my particularly fruit-flavored smartphone. And if that project is synced into a SharePoint task list using that functionality, this is the view that smartphone users will get. Android, iPhone, Windows Phone 7 may get something additional in the future, but this is what they'll get as well. So this is looking at that task list that I had open before with subtasks all collapsed. These are nice big buttons, all touch optimized. Little disclosure triangle on the right allows you to drill into a particular group of tasks. And we can find the task that we want to mark as complete, which was these three. And then you can tap on the tick and have projects marked as complete, tasks marked as complete. Now, when the project manager goes and syncs again with the task list, they'll get these completions through. Lovely in HTML5. Great, so the last thing on the list was around the extensibility for developers. As I said, the new Office application ecosystem allows you to make HTML5, JavaScript applications for Microsoft Project. The model specifically that you can create is a backstage integration, a backstage component, and also what's called a task pane. So that's one of the pieces that docks to the right of the screen, and you can show additional information. Developers can do this using C#. in the back end. They can use JavaScript when they're doing the apps for integrating with your project client, keeps your data safe from anything the developer does. These are all can be deployed over the cloud. And there's one little caveat for any developers, and that's that those task panes in 2013 can only read data from your schedule. Unfortunately, they're not allowed to write back into your schedule at the moment. So for this release, functionality will be limited to reading information, summarizing it, giving you additional information or views, or reading that and pulling it into another system. Whatever the app does, it's up to everyone's imagination. All right, just going to take a break for a second to ask some questions. So this one is going to be for a car. So first question, what date will Office 2013 be released on? Anyone? 26th of October. No, trick question. Okay, first, what version of... I asked that one before, didn't I? Okay, new one. I've blown up my questions. I prepared them beforehand and then changed the demo as I went. You didn't see a girl who hadn't marked her task as completed, but there was one. Does anyone know her name? Molly. No, it was actually Sarah Davis, but you'd have to be Jan Cullis to know that because he made that bit of the demo up. I didn't like it. All right, next question is, on the spot now. Yeah. Okay. Microsoft Project 2013 reports are editable within Project Professional. What functionality, from what application does the functionality come from that allows you to edit the data? Sorry? Excel? Correct. Easy one, there you go. Cool, and for the second car, name one flavor of the Agile methodology. Oh, come on, you got to put your hand up first so I know who said it. Oh, you got your hand up first, sorry. Oh, yep, okay, cool. There we go. And I'll give you a shirt though. Oh, do you want to come and grab that? I won't walk all the way down to the back. Awesome. Anyway, one of the key takeaways I want you all to have today is Project 2013 preview is out and about. You can go to it from office.com/preview. You can download the normal clients and you can try that today. The other thing I want you guys to remember is the Office 365 preview, which has Project Server built in. If you want to enable that in the trial, is available today. You can go to it as well from office.com/preview. There's a link right on the right there to try it out. Amazing new features in it, especially around the SharePoint functionality there. And PWA has had a lot of upgrades, new look, new functionality, new cross-browser support, which will be big for anyone that's been missing that. And just quickly before I go into questions, having a look quickly at some of the related content as you've been following through. For anyone that's been in the office, you've probably seen this 100 million times now. So coming up this afternoon, we've got SharePoint Server 2013, closer look at the social functionality. And then after that, the SharePoint Server 2013 search functionality, that completely new search functionality that's in SharePoint 2013. And on Friday, there's 4 sessions around Microsoft IT and their transition to take SharePoint 2013 in the cloud, and then how they manage that from a tenant's perspective. And the last 2 sessions are around ASB Bank and leveraging 2013 as part of the TAP program. And finally, tomorrow will be about upgrading your SharePoint to 2013. So I'm not going to be able to answer everyone's questions today. There's a lot of new things and a lot of things I haven't actually gone into and touched into. There's lots of new things available. These are 4 great resources for Microsoft Project. In the Office suite, Microsoft Project team, the engineering team from Redmond, are probably the most available to the community, to partners, to customers, in terms of they have a blog that they publish information to all the time. They make themselves available at all the conferences so you can talk to them. That's a key benefit that they get in the community, and it's a key benefit that you can get from them if you're interested in Microsoft Project. Christoph Feisinger is the marketing manager for Microsoft Project in Redmond, and he has a Twitter account and a blog, and he's available. You can also email him from his blog. And the project team, as I said, maintain a blog on the website there. And 4 other resources available for all of this Microsoft stuff. Those 4 there: Learning, TechNet, MSDN, and of course the information we have here. Cool. I'll take a couple of questions and see if I can answer them.